What's up, gang? Champion Trippy here. Yeah, I said it. We are the champions of the MMA content creation world. The rest are just freaking contenders. So we pretty much all know that Colby Covington is probably going to be facing Kamaru Usman next for the welterweight title. And I've been seeing a few takes on this fight, and I haven't seen an honest or smart or honestly flat out non-casualistic viewpoint of this fight yet. Everybody is either saying Usman is going to blow away Colby Covington, or that Colby Covington stands no chance, or even some people who are still delusional and think that Colby Covington is probably just going to blow away Kamaru Usman, and that whole fight that they last had was rigged, and that Colby got cheated and all this other nonsense, blah, 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 blah. But I'm not going to lie to you. For fight predictions, the main one I get is, Trippy, how do you think that Colby Covington can do against Kamaru Usman in a rematch? I think that he can beat him. And then there's some guy in the comments that reply to him before I can and be like, no, he stands no chance against the champion. It will be worse. Colby stands no chance. Da-da-da-da. So, we keep it honest and simple over here. We're going to break it down honestly and objectively because that's all we can do. We just got to be honest with it. What are my honest thoughts on Colby Covington's chances against Kamaru Usman? Let's just talk about it, shall we? So I don't know if you guys remember, but I made a video on who can beat Kamaru Usman, and I basically did say that nobody was going to beat him, shall I think, but I never said that no fight is going to be competitive. Let me tell you guys this right now. Colby Covington and Kamaru Usman is a competitive fight every single time. 10 out of 10 times, this fight is competitive. And I'm going to go ahead and break this narrative right here. Oh, they're almost the same fighter. No, they're not. They're not. Their styles are the same, but they're so different in so many ways. Now, that doesn't make sense. I know. I'm going to break it down and make it make a little more sense. Colby Covington is a high-pace, high-pressure style fighter. He likes to put a ton of volume on you in the striking, back you up against the cage, and overwhelm you with the wrestling. These are things that we do know. Now, this guy claims to be the cardio king, and I have to be honest with you guys, I have to agree with him. Colby Covington's gas tank is legendary. He can go all day. I believe he will be the only fighter, or not the only fighter, I'm not going to say that, but he'll be one of the only fighters who can honestly compete, no joke, in a 10-round contest and not pass out. Okay, now maybe that's a bit of an exaggeration, but you guys get what I mean. This guy can go all freaking day. Never in a fight do I have to worry about Colby Covington gassing out because the pace is set too high, because he sets those paces and he keeps it on you and overwhelms you with volume. So now, like I said, he is the cardio king. So being the cardio king means you're not going to have that kind of power, because mainly being a cardio king meaning that you have some form of slow twitch muscle fiber, meaning your explosions into your strikes isn't going to generate the kind of speed and ferocity that it needs to just be this one-shot knockout artist. Now, with that being said, a person with slow muscle twitch fibers can absolutely knock out a guy. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying whenever you're competing with the best of the best and you're fighting a guy with a granite chin like Kamaru Usman, it's very unlikely that will be an outcome scenario. Okay, so Colby fights with a fast pace, like I said. Kamaru Usman, this is where they differ. Kamaru Usman fights at not a slow pace, but a very moderate pace, and adapts to pace that other fighters set. Just like against the Jorge Masvidal fight, he obviously took it a bit slower. Now, the Colby Covington fight was very high paced and very aggressive, so that means he had to adapt to that pace and pressure and find his way to make it through that fight, ultimately sealing the dub over Colby Covington. So Kamaru Usman has the power and the strength advantage, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense because the guy can also go all day long just like Colby Covington and adapts to high-paced fights. That is insane to me. That is what makes a champion right there, and that is why Kamaru Usman is the champ right now. Kamaru Usman said that he has the strongest mind in the division, and I can't find sufficient evidence to argue that. I can't say that any fighter, honestly, in the welterweight division that can say that they have a stronger mind in there than Kamaru Usman. I mean, the guy is mentally tough, and that is why Colby Covington's game plan pretty much in the last fight freaking backfired on him, because you can't break this guy. You can't gas this guy out. So that means you have to resort to another plan. So the truth is that Colby Covington is a good fighter, and that is something that we do know, but we haven't seen much of Colby since he fought Kamaru Usman. Now, as for the champion, we have seen him a ton. He has been active in there. Now, in this fight, at a high-pressure, high-volume fight that's going to be competitive every single time, is he going to burn out? I don't think so, and I don't think that Kamaru Usman mentally is going to allow something like that to happen. And as you guys know, like always, Colby is claiming that he's made so many strides in his game, especially in the striking, but the truth is that we haven't seen it. We don't know for sure. It's all hearsay. As for Kamaru Usman, we know the strides that he's made. He's working with Trevor Whitnett now, and he has developed a technical jab that is honestly, he claims it's the best jab in the UFC, and once again, I can't find hardcore sufficient evidence to argue against that, to debate that. If it's not the best in the UFC, it may be the best in that division. And when I look back on his past fight with Colby Covington, that jab is something he did not throw or use intelligently enough in that last fight with Colby. Will that make a difference in this fight? I absolutely think it will. Now, as for Colby, he fought Tyron Woodley, and the only thing that I can say is that he didn't look that different against Tyron Woodley. But what I did notice is that he fought at a bit of a slower pace. It wasn't the high volume, high intense pressure that he typically put, like what he did against Robbie Lawler, which was his best performance of his career, hands down, without a doubt, best performance in my opinion. And so he didn't have that same type of volume. And so that means he's probably, if he does come out looking to technically strike and time Usman like how he said that he's gotten better in, I don't think that that's going to go over too well for him. Colby's biggest weapon in his first fight against Kamaru Usman was his volume and his aggression, which would make Kamaru Usman back up, shell up, and allow Colby Covington to score on Kamaru Usman and outbox him in a lot of scenarios. And allowing Kamaru Usman to fight at a pace that is easily adaptable for him, essentially making him comfortable in there, that you're giving him his biggest shot to win again. When you're striking with Usman, his biggest weakness is when he can't take you down or he can't control you in the clinch. He is forced to rely on his striking, and whenever you overwhelm him, he has a tendency to shell up and honestly make a ton of mistakes. He becomes a lot easier to deal with. But if you're not that high level of a striker and you're not pushing the aggression on him and setting an uncomfortable pace for him, you're allowing him to work. But truthfully, in conclusion, Colby Covington did put a lot of volume on Kamaru Usman, but he ran into that body shot all night long, and that will ultimately stop the pace of Colby Covington. Kamaru Usman is working with a better striking coach now. So is Colby Covington, apparently, but I don't know too much about MMA Masters, but I do know a lot about Trevor Whitman. And Trevor Whitman made Thug Rose, who was freaking a brawler when he first laid his hands on her. Now she is a full-on technical striker. I will 100% see a scenario where they come up with a genius game plan to deal with both weapons of Colby. If Colby comes out there looking to time Usman and looking to just simply out-technically strike him on the feet, not overwhelming him with pace and pressure, he's just going to land that jab all night long and set up something over that right hand, simply because he has the power advantage, the strength advantage, and ultimately he might have the technical striking advantage to something that we don't know. But if Colby does put the pace on early and put the pressure, I believe that he still will have success. But I do believe that the jab will keep him at bay and the body shots will come to land again, keeping Colby at a safe distance and at a comfortable pace. And Kamaru Usman will possibly set up something again off of that jab, putting Colby Covington down again. Possibly early. I think earlier at least, but it also could be late again. But I'm just saying that this is honestly, no joke, the same fight if the wrestling gets thwarted again. But let me know what you guys think. I had to cover this because I've just seen a bunch of people say, just in my opinion, false things about this fight. But it's been your boy Trippy Speaks UFC. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. And I'm out, man.